Hello, today is the 5th of July 2023 and my name is Clarissa M. Talaga of 1791 C. Embraer Street, Pleasant Hill Subdivision, Ilayang Iyam, Lucena City, Republic of the Philippines. Instead of sending the hard copy of this letter, I have decided to send a video recording of myself reading the letter because in times past, I have already sent conventional means of communication like letter writing, but they instead of resolving miscommunication, it created another difficulty in which there was a need to identify who the letter sender is. So by reading my letter through this video recording, I hope that I can also address the identification of the previously sent postal letters. 5th of July 2023, hello there. The years have caught up with me. The letter writing with unidentifiable letter sender has accumulated into such a disheartening workload and also hassle for the recipient who had to read them. I tend to write long letters and jam so many details and information. And this is what brought me to this mode of communication. This way I can easily catalog and follow up the communication coming from this person and last known address of yours truly. First off, I invoke presumption of regularity, but I'm open to objection in light of the deep fake technology whereby the person on the video is altered digitally to look like someone else. We have the proper course of action for people who would be grievously affected by the duplicity with clearest intent to defraud and commit estafa should it turn out I have altered this video communication. And there's no need to start from zero because I will be starting off from judicial case numbers and preliminary case numbers of the Justice Department, wherein the Philippine bureaucracy is beholden to either authenticate or initiate a self-policing mechanism, because this can be considered a prima facie evidence, and what's at stake is the credibility and reputation of our government agencies. I could not do this earlier because of some domestic difficulty, otherwise known as the demands of a 6 years old and 4 years old to the only adult during office hours, and I would need to take a pause. Hello, hi, once again this is yours truly Clarice T, and the video clip that you're about to watch comes from the YouTube channel LV Cops TV. I think LV stands for Las Vegas. By the way, today is the 5th of May 2025, and this is in continuation, or this I hope will make clear what my interactions with family and friends offline, of course, how I'm going to speak with my relatives, my family about the coming small case summons that in all likelihood I would be receiving, and that would be the best opportunity also to present the received copies of the another side of yours truly, because as those who have seen and have watched all my videos, actually they are quite consistent. Thank you so much for letting me know through the chat box and through the messenger that you, from day one, you have been there and you have not let go of your viewership, of your support. Thanks so much. So the other side of the Clarissa Talaga Garcia, who would be summoned to the small claims court would be the same person who had let the companies, the board of directors, about the other side of my person that they should know of. So we would be, it would be a wonderful opportunity for us to be at the same venue. So this video clip is courtesy of LV Cops, and it has a bearing on how I am going to present myself. Like some keywords first. Please hang in there if up to now I am not making any sense. Anyway, the Vegas cops react. Yes, so it's LV stands for Las Vegas. Vegas cops react to second gen Karen Reed trial. So this trial is happening now in Massachusetts, in the US, and one would ask, what is the relevance of this case to yours truly and to my coming interactions with family and friends? First off, my family and friends, I think almost half of them are either American citizens, green card holders, or they have someone also in the US. So speaking of commonality and point of interest, I think there is only the cavemen, those living under the rock, would fail to know of this case. So the initial questions would be, who is Jen, quote and unquote, in my world? And who is Jen in our world? With just one word changed, my sufficient literacy points out to a different audience, right?
Everybody had the opportunity to say their piece and to listen to others say their piece as well.
We had conversations. It was really nothing more than that.
At some point you did, I think you mentioned this on direct examination, you did reach out to Mike Lank. Is that right?
Yes.
Remind us who Mike Lank is in your world.
Who is Jen in my world? Wow, what a big word. World, in your world, in my world, and in your world. Does this terminology have a weight, or is it a legitimate question to ask, especially for us layperson who are just watching and learning? So the background is that there is a hit and run trial. Merong nagaganap na court room trial sa Amerika. Hindi sila sikat dahil hindi artista, hindi politiko, hindi weird. Pero pinag-uusapan. Bakit? The stakeholders concern themselves because it is a question of the law and order. And if it's about law and order, we're all stakeholders in how it is being implemented, right? So hindi man sila sikat, hindi man sila artista, hindi man malaki ang kinikita nila, they are not famous for being famous, they are not famous for being good persons or being bad or notorious persons, still what is happening to them, many concern themselves, not inject themselves, okay, but their opinions and sentiments are also somehow being formed by the things that they watch, by the things that we watch. Si Karen Reed, siya po ay Amerikana, siya ay my boyfriend, the police. Natagpo ang patay. I think Karen Reed is an athlete. Natagpo ang patay sa bakuran ng kasamahan na police din. So, the friend of the family, co-worker, parang malapit ang bahay sa kanila, natagpuan sa labas ng bahay nila yung boyfriend ni Karen Reed, dead. So, naging suspect si Karen. So, nagkaroon ng grand jury trial, fast forward, nagkaroon ng first trial, testigo si Jen, laban kay Karen Reed. So, laban sa ikalawang pagkakataon. So, twice. The first time it happened, and now it's happening again. So, yan po yung background. In this clip, please take note that both the cross-examiner and the witness, they know they didn't have to elaborate on what the term in your own world, in your world, sa mundo mo. Yeah, that's in Tagalog. Sa mundo mo. So in my world, the answer can also begin with the same phrase. In my world, like another form of sentence would be using in my own world, I am going to answer in my own words, something like that. So my portrayal of my world is legit. It is both understandable by the lawyer of the defense and also of the witness. So in case that we use that, you know, the question and answer, like we go to an office and then we present our problem. So if there is a disconnect, like what are you talking about? So there are different ways to recognize the discrepancy or the incomprehension. It will, I guess, this is the channel that must be passed through in order to reach the point where these common terminologies will be understandable both for the counsels and the person taking a stand or testifying, and that reasonable men and women can discern the possible motive behind the incomprehension.
Clarissa Talag.
Maraming salamat po at ikinagagal ako po na maging kinatawan ng aking nakababatang kapatid na si Jerry talaga. Ako po si Clarissa talaga.
Why would a straightforward question be not understandable, and why should some very deep, like sa mundo mo, why? My world is here on Earth. Is your world another planet? No, that is not that didn't even occur. You know, that kind of barrier of understanding, like I am supposed to understand what you mean by in your world. Yeah, we don't have to pretend, or if it's pretension at all, we don't feign misunderstanding of what how my earth is different from your earth, right? Because I would answer based on my perception of my earth, my world, because the question had been in your earth, in your part of the world, in your, yes, assuming that you are also living here on earth.
Ako si Sammy, nagtitinda dito sa Pleasantville. Suki ko si Clarice. Merry Christmas. Ikaw ba, Clarice, ay taga rito mismo sa Lucena?
Sorry nga na barasan, data puti sa pedidadan, nga nakira tamu jamburu, dengan na pepo sa ngan baru.
Remind us who Mike Link is in your world, in addition to being a Canton police officer, police sergeant, I think he was at the time.
Can you answer my question? Like, we don't have to go through the ceremony, the preamble of grappling with terminologies. It's already given that you understand. Like, it's not even language barrier. Like, two Filipinos speaking with each other in native language, in native dialect, and they can still have, basically, they would still have to reconcile terminologies. Mundo ko, ang mundo ko ba ay iba sa mundo mo? Is my world different from your world? That you would ask that question. Anyway, the long answer will be, had the question apply to me, should it apply to me? My world is Lucena City, province of Quezon, Republic of the Philippines. My FB, my YouTube, my Gmail, my Yahoo, my Hotmail, they also represent the world that I am an inhabitant. That's also my habitat. So it's also my world. So my world is the Philippine Constitution, the city ordinances, the local provincial resolutions. They are my world. Just like how the Massachusetts, the law and order in Massachusetts is the world of Karen Reed. The more I read, or the more I get to know and the characters, the main characters, and the more I watch the numerous clips, channels that have dedicated their time with the intriguing part, that spark the interest that could be found in this case, I find out that Jen is actually Miss Jen McCabe. Succeeding clip reveals more information. Depending on the level of interest of the viewers, one viewer can be more knowledgeable than another. So it really depends on the interest and how much time has one a lot to it. Miss Jen McCabe is actually Jennifer McCabe. So this information is not available on the second clip that I've watched. So the further along I am, the more familiarized I am with the case. So can my interest be sustained? It depends, right? The possibilities that Karen Reed is a bot or is an AI, that is already a foregone conclusion. Only an idiot would somehow associate Karen Reed as an animation or a bot, because the case is already in the judicial system after going through so many proceedings that are available only to real human beings and their constitutional rights. So the defense, or Karen Reed's lawyer who is doing the cross-examination, it turned out his name is Alan Jackson. Jennifer McCabe is the witness for the state, or state prosecutor. So there is one perspective that I saw. It caught my attention. Jen was incinerated by Alan Jackson. Brian never came out to help. Whoa, who is Brian? Now there is another character injected, and those in the know would automatically be aware of who that person is. But because I just tuned in, I really don't know who Brian is. Can Brian be this Brian Albert? Architect in profession, it says here, the architect of the whole thing. So it can mean both literal and symbolically, a figurative language, a description of his participation in the case, right? Not just a profession. So I would be corrected in my presumption if I am that interested, if I am that invested, if like my interest with this Brian is personal in nature, and that I would be contemplating on yeah, it's far-fetched and it's ridiculous, but yeah, go along for the ride. We're going down the rabbit hole, assuming that my interest in this Brian is personal, that I think he is handsome. I would, of course, I would go along for the ride and hoping against hope that he is single. Architect in profession. So John O'Keefe is the name of the murdered, quote and unquote, policeman boyfriend. Yes. So that is also what I am learning. So then, who is Brennan? Oh, the prosecutor. In my world, Prosecutor Brennan will be called Fiscal Brennan. In my world, Fiscal Hunk Brennan will be prosecuting in the People of the Philippines versus Karen Reed criminal case that will be heard by the presiding judge of a regional trial court, or RTC for short. Just the term RTC is enough for us in my world. My world truly exists and is real. So placing them side by side, juxtaposition, is also a good way aligning or making a comparison between the Philippine law and the US law. This could be an exercise in futility only for idle people who have lots of time in their hands. But if one has a stake both in US laws and Philippine laws, then what is happening should catch your attention, both for its academic and both for the practical lesson being imparted both by the actual trial and by the commentators who are Americans and who could find it in themselves to respond to questions, because viewership also, it's an incentive. The more people who watch their channel, the better for them, because it's monetized. So it's an incentive for them to answer questions such as what I have. The trial is taking place in Massachusetts courthouse. The main agency also that can be trusted to be there should be the Boston Police Office, because it's one of their own. He is one of their own. Boston Police Officer John O'Keefe. What happened was that there was a mistrial. The first trial, I had chanced upon this news article dated the 3rd of June 2024. I don't know how far along was June 3rd, but the news article was dated June 3rd. So the first trial took place in Norfolk County Courthouse just outside Boston. And then the retrial started April 1st, 2025. After a 9-week trial, 5 days deliberations at Norfolk County Courthouse, judge declared a mistrial on the 1st of July 2024. So it took another almost a year before another trial could begin after the first trial had been declared as after a mistrial was declared. The question, can the case Commonwealth of Massachusetts v. Karen Reed be held simultaneously with a theoretical case? This is hypothetical, theoretical, but it can happen, right? With the theoretical case, People of the Philippines versus Karen Reed. Another theoretical, hypothetical thesis would be, will Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court receive the same set of evidence from pleadings as the regional trial court? Let's say, since I live here in Lucena City, we have the 4th Judicial Court Circuit, 4A, for the Region 4A, Southern Tagalog. To be more precise, can the Regional Trial Court, 4th Judicial Region, Lucena City, Branch 56, calls on the Clarissa talaga of 188 or 118 Emaltagaraut Street, Lucena City. You know what? We are not stopped by the technical or clerical errors back in those days. 188 and 118 can mean the same thing because of the familiarity between the one who is sending the summon and the one receiving it. The commonality is would make it ridiculous to be stopped by the technical error. So 188-118 Emaltagaraut Street, Lucena City for criminal case number 99-228, simultaneous with Hillsborough Circuit Court summon for Clarissa Talaga Garcia. Again, to be more precise, can the Regional Trial Court, 4th Judicial Region, Lucena City, Branch 56, calls on the Clarissa Talaga of 188, 118 Emaltagaraut Street, Lucena City for criminal case number 99-228 simultaneous with Hillsborough Circuit Court summon for Clarissa Talaga Garcia, being the same person. But the disparity of proof of identification, there the problem can lie. For the systems, for two systems, not to recognize them as the same person, and I'm using the second language just to prove my point. But it's me. Okay, let's just use the first person. As Clarissa Talaga of Branch 56, can I also be called as Clarissa Talaga Garcia of Hillsborough Circuit Court for a legal case there? Broad, in the broader scope of the phrase, in my world, the Hillsborough County Clerk of Courts and the Clerk of Courts of the Regional Trial Court, 4th Judicial Region, they were able to take cognizance of the Clarissa Talaga Garcia that I personify. Just as presiding judge, Your Honor, Beverly Canone, gets to rule the hearing of the trial Commonwealth v. Reed in the this is a real case, of course, but in the theoretical thesis, the criminal civil case here in my world, it can be any one of the presiding judges, like Your Honor Derela de Vera Tamaray, if municipal trial court in cities would be the venue. If the branch 1 of the municipal trial court in cities here in Lucena City will hear of a criminal or a civil case, I think it would be, I don't even know what the qualifying basis for having it in the MTCC and in the RTC. I am that so disinterested in times past. To continue with my world, it would have to be our world to describe the current judicial cases in the courthouses located in Lucena City. There are a lot, the dockets and the cases being heard. When I came for a visit to ask for the certified transcript of the case that I was a witness of, I saw it had taken some days. I had to come back because it wasn't yet computerized, and anyway, the hard copies, the papers, the stock room, or where they have the past cases resolved, it's littered. It's what do you call that? They have to devise a system, of course, but still within that system, it is the manpower and the number of hours needed to be able to research where my case was located, where the file was located. I had to come back To continue with my world, it would have to be our world to describe the current judicial cases in the courthouses located in Lucena City. Attorney Ed Castillo, he's the clerk of court in our world for RTC, for the Regional Trial Court. Whereas for the Municipal Trial Court, it would be Mr. Marvin Llamas. He is in our world for Municipal Trial Court. I would have to include the Clerk of Court of Florida in the elaboration of my world, to whom I had written in times past. Anyway, I was able to apply for clearances from both the MTCC and the RTC. And the clearance would be the best indication of whether one has a major or minor criminal civil cases pending in their office, in their jurisdiction. So no, People of the Philippines versus Karen Reed, had it happened in my world, will not be presided by Judge Canone or Canoni, or by our retired Judge Norma Siong Lucia, who had presided our case and some of the cases involving my mother. And my mother's name, of course, is Learning Talaga. The hit and run criminal case in my world can be presided by the likes of Judge Julieto Fabrero, yes, if raffled to branch 188. But if it's branch 167, it's Judge Maria Zafran Corredor. Or if it's branch 60, Judge Portia Martinez Panergo. And finally, in case it's branch 58, it's Judge Maricel Magpantay Nang. So thank you for the Supreme Court website where I got all this information. They are available for public consumption. Oh wait, there's more. Karen Reed will be able to defend her innocence. It's her right. It's her right to defend her innocence, the right to due process. In branch 56. Could be right, if it's in my world, right? Like, she can defend her innocence in branch 56, and it would be Judge Salvador Villarosa Jr. who would preside there, and Judge Janice Liamera Andrade Odarbe, yes. It would be, if it would be for branch 57. These are the possibilities if such a case would be held in my world here in the Philippines. For proper representation, I should be more upfront with my legal counsel about the hurdle in times past. Maybe it will affect, maybe not, but just so that my lawyers can know how it had been with me, like the system generation for the singer, for the songwriter, for the brand endorser, for the apprentice of some realty project development during the time of my mother. Of course, she is that kind of person, is expected to have an extensive background, like the financial aspect of it, and the proof of being that person. So there was a time that in, what year was that? Some years ago, nothing was available to me, to my dismay, as if I was just, I could be just another person. I could just be, a blank, a person who had been rescued from the mountain, or had been dug, who had been recovered as living in the bunker underground without proof of the competence, the capabilities, track records, proof of income. All these things are needed by the modern man in order to exist and in order to become part of the society where her true talent, or where her true profession can be practiced. because without these indicators, the system generation, one can, one can just easily be another person in a death row. One can be a person who had been accused of so many things that it would be so problematic for her to exist. And by God's grace, I was able to find ways to begin the reconciliation of my identification. And now they are due for transmittal to the national offices. I may not have the first class, one page, like if you're a college graduate, the diploma is the best proof of how you graduate, right? Even my marriage certificate and those that had been issued by PSI had not resulted to successful filings and applications. So participating in the due process, where I can be given an opportunity to also narrate how this had affected me, and how based on my memory, in the absence of proof, it was just my good faith that I was telling the truth, and in the presence of the proof, it was that I am the right person, and that it wasn't issued to me by mistake or by misrepresenting myself. So I am so looking forward to how all this will play up. Like, can we have a venue where both the financial aspect of the creditor, the debtor, will be assessed in a way that the income earner should also be given a chance to say his or her piece in the absence of proof, but with just commitment to the rule of law and the good faith that I am telling the truth. I can apply for the evidence that can be found elsewhere or outside of the Philippines, after having exhausted all the possible ways and means for me to apply, to assert for my rights and to be given a chance to prove my assertions. So this is yours truly, Clarice, and thank you for listening.